First thing is define the reflex. Reflex is a kind of a automatic as well as reproducible effector response to a sensory stimulus with the involvement of the central nervous system. Means basically it is automatic response as well as stimulus is required for that. The path through which the reflex action takes place, that is called a reflex arc. So for that path we need receptors. Secondly, we need a afferent path. Third, we need a center. Fourth, we need a efferent path. Fifth, there is a junction with the target organ and the effector organ. First thing is the receptor. What is called receptors? Receptor means which receive the sensory stimulus. This sensory stimulus may be mechanical, maybe electrical, maybe any type, chemical, like that. Now we are going towards the second part, the afferent path. The afferent path is basically made up of the sensory nerve, and this nerve carry the action potential. Now we are coming to the third part for the reflex, that is called the center. Center means where there is an synapse formed. Center means where there is an synapse formation occurs, and that is also EPSP, excitatory post synaptic potential in type. Next one is the efferent path or the efferent pathway. Efferent pathway is basically formed by the motor nerve. Motor nerve is responsible for the formation of the efferent path impulse, as well as it is also forming the action potential. Fifth one is junction with the target organ. Junction with the target organ is basically the efferent impulse when is transferred to the target organ, that is called the junctions with the target organ. Here target organ means where it is reached, or we can say where the EPP, end plate potential, is formed. And the last one is the effector organ. Effector organ means the efferent impulse is basically shows the effect of reflex action, and the effectors is either the muscles or the gland. This is about the in general conception of the reflex. Now we are coming to the stretch reflex. That is very important, stretch reflex, because it is used during the kind of inverse stretch reflex as well as the muscle tone formation. When a muscle is stretched, simply the muscle spindle is present in the muscle is stimulated, and there is a reflex contraction of the muscle. Means when we are stretching the muscle, then there is a contraction first occurs, that is called the stretch reflex. But it is seen in any anti-gravity or extensor muscle in case of the animal. So it is because of it is seen in the extensor muscle, so it is also called the extensor reflex. So another name of the stretch reflex is extensor reflex, and its other name also myotatic reflex. Myotatic, M-Y-O-T-A-T-I-C, myotatic reflex. This stretch reflex or the extensor reflex or the myotatic reflex is phasic in type. That means for that there is proper phase, and the response is sometimes quick and short-lived, but sometimes in case of tonic cases it shows a persistent action against a maintained stretch. Means it is long term, that occurs in case of maintaining of the muscle tone. So sometimes the stretch reflex is very quick and short-lived, but sometimes this stretch reflex shows a action which is maintaining the stretch during the time of maintaining of the muscle tone. That stretch reflex is also another kind of reflex, that is called the inverse stretch reflex. Inverse is opposite. So when a muscle is stretched, it contracts, we know that. But if the stretch is again occur or forcefully we are stretching, then the muscle relaxes instead of contracting. So this is called the inverse stretch reflex, means opposite thing is going on. So first when we are stretching the muscle, it occurs contraction, but when we again stretch that muscle, then it occurs the relaxation. And that stretching, as a result, we can say stretch the tendon, and after stretching of the tendon, there is a Golgi tendon apparatus. Golgi tendon apparatus is stretched, and for that there is a 1A fibers which is sending the signal to the motor neurons, and motor neurons is inhibited. After that motor neurons is sending the impulse of muscle for relaxation via the help of inhibitory interneurons. So that is about the inverse stage reflex. Inverse stage reflex is stretching fast, then there will be a contraction. Again, if there is a more stretching, then there will be a relaxation, and that whole thing is going with a stretching of the tendon, and this tendon is stretching the Golgi tendon apparatus. As a result, through the 1A fibers, it is going to the motor neuron, and the motor neuron is inhibited. That inhibition of the motor neurons is relaxing the muscle via the help of the inhibitory interneurons.